Hello, my name's Benjamin and I'm here to teach you on EngVid today some really good vocabulary for asking people to do what you want them to do in a work environment, helping you to be the boss. Okay, so first thing, I want you to imagine, to think of one thing you want someone you work with to do, okay? What could it be? Think of the person you want to do. Okay, yeah, I want them to do that, yeah? Good. So here are some different uses. We're going to talk through some different kinds of instructions, some different ways of asking people to do something, okay? Good. So first one, aim at or aim to. So we could say, Bob, I'd like you to aim at producing that presentation by Tuesday morning. Okay? So when we use by, we introduce a deadline that they have to finish it by. Okay? So I'd, obviously that's short for I would like you to do this. Okay? And now in terms of the pronunciation, I'd like you to aim. So we shorten, we don't pronounce the O and it just becomes to aim at. Okay? So this kind of all goes into one word. Bob, I'd like you to aim at finishing that presentation by Tuesday morning. Now, Bob asks me what the presentation needs to be. So I say to him, aim to have a beginning, a middle, an end with some graphs and some evidence, okay? Aim to do this, this, and this. Great. Now, count on and rely on are ways of checking, of asking if Bob can definitely do this, if he can do this. Okay, so I say to him, Bob, can I count on you to do that? He either says yes or no. If he says yes, I know that Bob can do the presentation. Or I could say another way, can I rely on you to do that? Okay, again, the pronunciation, you don't really need to pronounce the T, it just goes to do that, right? So rely on, can I rely on Bob to do this? If I rely on Bob to do my presentation, Bob is doing the presentation and I can do other work. I know Bob will do it. I rely on him. Okay, rely on, count on. Okay, so count, it's the same word as counting money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds. Here, I'm counting on him. Good. To fit something in. Okay, so fit, it's a word we use with clothes. Do these clothes fit? Do I fit into them? Do I fit in? Yeah, I fit, they fit me. Is that something you can fit in? Can you fit this presentation into your day? Can you find time in your day to do the presentation? Is that, okay, meaning the work, the presentation, a thing you can fit in? Okay, is that something you can fit in? Now, another way of saying this, do you think you'll be able to squeeze it in? So squeeze here, that's more informal, okay? So I say, do you think you'll, so that's obviously short for you will be able, future tense, you will be able to squeeze it in. And the answer would be, yeah, sure, Benjamin, I can fit it in, no problem. Okay, you with me so far? Now, if I have doubts, if I have questions about Bob doing my presentation, I might need to follow up, okay? It's a good idea to follow up. That means to check. Bob, are you doing the presentation? Bob, how's the presentation going? Bob, any news with the presentation? These are all ways of following up. Now, we can use follow up With a noun, Bob, we will need to plan a follow-up. A or the, remember, those are articles with the follow-up, which is our noun, okay? A follow-up, working there as a noun. We can also use it as a verb, okay? I say to Bob, I will be following up on this, okay? Future tense with will. Or another way of saying it, again in the future, Bob, I am going to follow up on this. I am going to follow up on this. So follow. I expect you might know the word follow. If I follow someone, I walk around on them. So if I'm following Bob, I am making sure he is doing the work. Great. Now, Bob is getting a bit annoyed because I'm asking questions. So he just says to me, Benjamin, no problem, sir. I can pull this off. Okay? Pull off. That means can do. Okay? Pull off means can do. Now let's have a little picture. This is where we are now. This is where we want to get to. And Bob is going to pull the target off. He's going to do it so easily. He's going to pull it off. Okay? Now, I'm just going to go and check to see that Bob is doing his work. Okay, so the good news is Bob has done the presentation really well. So, just got a few more little phrases to throw in there when we need to conclude something. So maybe you've been having a very long conversation, maybe over Skype, kind of a conference call. You could say, right, we're going to need to wind things up there. We're going to have to wind things up, okay? So wind up. Imagine you're fishing, you're bringing in the line, you're winding in the line, okay? You're coming to an end. You could say, we're going to have to finish up. Again, you could say, going to have to finish up there at this point. Now we're going to have to finish up there. Okay, imagine Formula 1 racing cars. When the cars finish, wave the flag. We're going to have to finish up there. And one other way of saying it, we're going to have to draw to a close. Okay, close, open, close. We're going to have to draw to a full stop when the shop is shut. Okay, so today we've done lots of ways of asking people to do things. Why don't you have a go now at doing the quiz? It's on EngVid.com. You're very welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to share some more things with you. And if you really like my work, you can check out, it's gone, it's disappeared. You're going to check out my Facebook page, which is Exquisite English. Should be a link below. See you next time. All the best. Bye.